At Four Paws, we make quality products for your pets, from wet noses to wagging tails. Four Paws Wee Wee brand waste management solutions make indoor and outdoor cleanup a snap. Our Magic Coat brand shampoos, conditioners, and innovative grooming tools help give your pampered pets professional groomer results at home. Four Paws containment solutions include strong and sturdy gates, crates, leashes, and tie-outs to keep your pets safe and secure. And our professional pet remedies help treat common problems and keep your pets feeling happy and healthy between visits to the vet. The Four Paws family of pet products. Innovative, effective, and easy-to-use solutions for today's pet parents and the pets they love.
So today I'm going to be installing a cable rod for our dog, and I picked this up from Snagglepaw, or it could be pronounced Snagglepaw, not sure which. Some of the things that we're going to need are going to be a drill. I'm using a 7/32 drill bit size. That should work. Your tape measure, a pair of pliers. This one is an adjustable wrench, channel locks, and a snipper for the wire. Inside the bag we have, in this case, a 100-foot cable. They do have one that's a 75-foot. You also have a 10-foot leash that hooks up onto this, and the screws and stops for the cable. So what they also recommend now is that we set up the cable going from in my case, two trees. And the recommendation is to go about 7 feet. So I'm going to measure this thing out, and 7 feet comes up just about here. So what I'm going to do now is drill in a pilot hole. And I'm going to be using this open-ended hook for the turnbuckle. The other one is going to be a closed loop hook, and that'll go on the other tree. That's where you can thread into the cable. This one, now I start threading it in. Get it started, and to make it easier, I'm using a pair of channel locks. so I can actually make the turn. I've got this in pretty deep, and I know this probably seems obvious, but you want to make sure that the open end is pointing up, because otherwise the turnbuckle is going to slip right out. Now we're just going to go to the other tree and do the same thing. Okay, so now we're at tree number 2, and we're going to do the same thing. We'll measure this out to about 7 feet, which is roughly underneath this branch here. That should keep it high enough for anybody walking underneath the cable. And we'll do the same thing now. This one is the closed-ended loop. This is where the cable is going to be threaded through. So in this case, I'm using my pliers because I can only go around so far before I hit the branch, but maybe a helpful tip here, you can stick in a larger screwdriver here and just use that as leverage to spin around and get it into the tree. Alright, so now we're ready to hook up our cable. And an important little tip here is on this turnbuckle, make sure that these screws are all the way extended out. So take a little bit of time, because otherwise when you're trying to tighten something and it's already tightened, well, you've got nowhere to go. Alright, these are fully extended. Now all you got to do, slip it on here, and then we're going to take a walk over to the other tree. One important thing is be careful that you don't kink the cable. I mean, it's a solid cable here, but you just want to take some extra care. Make sure it doesn't happen. And I had mine a little tangled up. Alright, we'll see you at the next tree. So now we're at the other tree and at the other end of the cable, and we have what they provided are a couple of stops. So really important at this point, make sure you don't forget to put all this stuff on before you clamp it all together here. So this one end is going to go all the way to the other tree. This stop here is going to go on last before we put the clamps on. Now we're going to put on the cable leash. This is a 10-foot cable, so we went up 7 feet. It's going to give our dog about 3 feet of extra room. We'll try out to see if that's not enough. We can always put on a longer leash attached to this end here. So now we're going to put this on, and you've got your pulley on the top. This is a little spring action here to kind of help the dog from going straight into a jerky stop to maybe just slowing it down depending on your breed dog. The nice thing about this cable also at the end of this leash on this carabiner is that it does screw lock. There's a screw lock on there, so when you hook that up to your collar, actually I prefer that people would use a harness on the dog, but you can screw that in and now it won't open. So it's a nice safety feature that they provided. So this now we'll start threading this through. As I mentioned, I bought the 100-foot cable because 75 wouldn't be enough, so I have a lot of overkill here. Now on this end, on the other end, I'm going to put on another stop. Okay, and then the last thing we're going to slip through here are the cable clamps. Once you've done that, slip that through the hook that you put in, thread it back through, and now you're going to start pulling tight. These should be up closer to the hook. And what you're probably going to need is actually somebody's help to hold that cable up. What you want to do is get it up as tight as possible, and it's very helpful if you actually have somebody to hold it up so you can get that really in there. Okay, so to tighten up these clamps, for me, I'm using a 3/8 inch socket. Makes it a little easier. So again, you try to pull this as tight as possible. And then just clamp it down. So here's the turnbuckle. This is the final step to make it all tight. You turn this until it gets as taut as possible. You can use, as you can see, both ends are meeting each other right now. You can use a screwdriver to turn it, wedge it, or like an adjustable wrench, and you can turn and tighten. That's it. Now you've got a tight cable. So I have a lot of excess cable here. If you're lazy, I suppose you can always wrap it around, but to do it the right way, take off about, I don't know, from about 2 inches, 2 to 3 inches, and just clip it. So that's it. So the cable run is installed. Didn't take that long. Really quite an easy installation, and it's working pretty nicely. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. Give me hugs. Give me hugs. Good girl. Good girl.